It is questions and answers time. So thank you all who asked questions a couple days ago in the video. I'm going to go ahead and answer those. Most of those, a lot of them were the same questions, so that was kind of convenient. And if you have any questions that I did not address in this video, please ask in the comments to this one, and I will do my best to respond to them. So far, all the questions have been really appropriate, which I appreciate, as this is a family and pet-friendly channel. Isn't that right, Cinnabon? Yeah? I'll also try to do more videos of me holding him, but for this one, because I want the audio to come through really well, I want it to be right by the camera. So I think, and this is going to be the case. So he's pretty much tuckered out, so hopefully he stays for the duration of the video. I'll try to keep it short, so some of the questions might not be expanded that much, but we'll see. First question, has Cinnabon ever spent the night? Yes, he has. He has spent the night in the guest bed downstairs and also in my bed a few times in the winter when it's really, really cold. Generally, he's okay at night. When he's in my bed, he'll snuggle for a couple hours and just kind of shoot off the bed and run around the house or try to go outside. So he isn't the best animal to sleep inside, but he has, especially when it's negative 15 degrees, even though he's fine outside when it's negative 15. In fact, there was one day where he was out there when it was really cold, and I checked on him as I would periodically, and his head was outside of his coop and he was sleeping like a baby. He was totally fine. But these animals are pretty resilient. I mean, we had possums and raccoons and cats and like wild cats that live out there, and they make do, especially with his coat. But I do keep him, and of course he has an insulated nice house, cat box, right? And so yeah, so he has slept inside when it's really cold, or just some days he just sleeps in here. He pretty much sleeps in here all the time, but yeah, he spent the night a few times. What would I do if I ever go on vacation, and if I were, and if I have ever left for an extended period of time, and if Cinnabon came back? Yes, before I would let him inside, or I should rephrase it, before he would come inside, I did leave for a week out of state, and I left out a bunch of food and water for him, kind of in strategic places, and when I came back, there was a little bit left, and that he did come back after like a day or two when I went on vacation, so he definitely sticks around. If I am gone for maybe a night or 2, 3 days, whatever, for work, I do have someone come out to give him food. My parents are usually really willing to come out here, and they have to come out here for other things too. Not this house, just someplace in the area. So it is nice of them to come by, and it's funny because when they let him in the house, Cinnabon's sort of hesitant, like, who are you? But he comes in anyway. He's really easy. He comes in really fast when my brother's here because we look alike. And he kind of gets closer and is like, hey, this isn't, I almost said my real name. It's close to what you see, but he's like, this isn't him, but you're close enough. My brother's basically a thinner version of me, better shape than me. Would you ever... Some of these questions aren't grammatically correct, but that's okay. We'll make do with what we have. This is a cat channel, not an English channel, so... Would you ever someday entertain adopting a cat of your own? Cinnabon is mine, I guess, right? But it depends. God forbid something happened to Cinnabon, I probably would look for a cat. But I'm a firm believer in cats finding you. So if another stray kitty came around, and if Cinnabon got along with him or her, I would definitely take them in, assuming it's not a neighbor cat. Next question, how did you get so nice? Well, thank you. Amazing parents? Yes, I would say largely due to a good upbringing by my parents and family. Very loving, nice family. Pretty much had a good childhood, middle class, rural area, nice school, great mentors, pretty good. Really nothing terrible. I had a good crowd, good friends. Still have a lot of my friends back then are still friends today. So nice upbringing really makes a big difference. Do I ever call for him when I get home? Oh yeah, all the time. I'll be opening my slider, Cinnabon, and yelling for him, Cinnabon, come here, little baby. You know, things like that. Neighbors, well, they're pretty far away, but they probably hear me sometimes, but that's okay. But yes, I do call for him because especially if I have somebody over and they want to see him, he never seems to be around when other people want to see him. But he is a lot of the time, so I do call for him. Have you ever thought about getting Cinnabon a scratching post or even a cat tree? Not really, and this was sort of answered by some other commenters, but he does that a lot outside, but you do see videos where he's tearing up things like steps and things like that, but he does tear up a lot of trees. In fact, I'll show you real quick. It's hard to see because of the light, but that pine tree in the middle of the frame here, about 1.5 feet up, he has torn down a layer of bark, which is okay. We can forgive Cinnabon for that because he's never killed a tree that I know of because of that, but that's okay. I've killed trees before, so I won't hold it against him. But no, not inside. I don't think I'll have that inside for him. He has enough outside. Is that a Giant or Julie's Organic? That was in reference to the ice cream sandwich I was eating. It was a Purple Cow, which is a brand. It might be exclusive to Meijer. Meijer's a Midwest, basically a Walmart. Are you really worried if Cinnabon is a girl or a boy? Not at all. I just simply don't know for sure. I think he's a boy. Doesn't worry me either way. I'd be just as happy. If he ended up being a girl, I think it'd be hilarious because I've been calling him a boy for so long. So I'd probably have to do an apologetic video to him and some of his fans. Do you think there will come a time when you decide to keep Cinnabon inside? Probably not. I've mentioned in a previous video, and I don't think that video was posted when I asked for the Q&A, but I think he would not be truly happy inside all the time. He's happy now because I'm here, but without me he might get bored, and he does like to go outside a lot while even I'm inside. In the winter to a lesser extent. So maybe I'll keep him in more, but I doubt I'll keep him in full time because I don't think it would be good for either of us, frankly. How old do you think Cinnabon is? I have seen him around the house for at least 2 years, and he looked similar to how he does now, just a lot more fur and was in not good shape physically. He was weak and hungry, of course, because he wasn't getting regular food. I would have to guess he was probably at least 2, maybe 3 at that time, because his teeth always look really nice and clean. That's, I think, one of the ways you can tell. I would say he's around 5. If I ever bring him to the vet, I will have them do as good as analysis as I can to figure out how old they are. And I don't know what methods they have, if any, that I haven't used. Do you ever get scared letting Cinnabon outside? Oh, yeah. I mean, there's inherent risks, as I've mentioned before, in letting any animal outside. I worry about him a little bit. If he doesn't come around for a while, I do worry. Not all the time, though. I mean, it's not like a huge worry I have, but it's definitely a concern. More of a concern. Concern's a good word. Do you have a schedule for letting Cinnabon outside? Do you let him go out at night? Not really a set schedule. Usually in the morning, when I'm going to work, I let him in. He gets his food. He sleeps like here for a little bit, and then I let him back outside. At night, we'll hang out until it gets really late. Then I'll let him back out at night. He sleeps a lot of the time in here, so at night I would imagine he's around. Yeah, he's probably getting mad at me for talking so much, but that's okay. We're making good progress. Did you ever think you'd become so popular? No, not at all. That's definitely a big surprise, and a welcome surprise, and the overwhelming support has been really nice. Do you ever think about having Cinnabon sleep with you? I've already sort of answered that. Yes, he has for a couple hours when it's really cold. He's not bad. He'll kind of snuggle up, but then if I were to get out of the bed to check on something, go to the bathroom, he usually jumps out. He's not like Theo. When I watch him, he sleeps in the bed all night, which is kind of nice. Can we send gifts to a P.O. box? I don't have a P.O. box right now. I'm thinking about getting one. I have to think about it a little bit more. I don't think there'll be any issues, but there are some security concerns with. I highly doubt people will do this, but I know 99.999% of people have good intentions with sending gifts, and it would be really fun to do like Cinnabon opening the mail or whatever, or me helping him open the mail. So I probably will. I'm just got to think about it a little bit more. I do hate for somebody nefarious to ship them food or something. So maybe I won't do anything food related. I doubt somebody would do that, but it is, the internet, and there are some, very few, but there are some bad people that might consider that. So I'm thinking about it. It probably will happen. Will you show Cinnabon with empty boxes and paper bags in future videos? He doesn't really do anything with boxes or paper bags, but I can do some videos just to show you what he does. He really kind of rubs his face against it, and that's it. He doesn't really go in there. And then, how has your life changed since Cinnabon has come into your life? That is a good question. My life is similar, except I have a companion, if you will, a pet, which is nice. Part of the pack, because I'm kind of a dog person, or was a dog person. But yeah, he's brought some light into my life. It teaches you to kind of get out of more of a scheduled life, because Cinnabon isn't as scheduled as most people. And then I don't know, it teaches me just to kind of not get so uptight if there's a mess made or something's damaged. He scratches stuff, sometimes, and he can't help it. So, and that's all material stuff. It's probably gotten me to be less worldly. Also, a lot of people at work and people that I know personally, family, ask me about Cinnabon, so it becomes a topic of conversation that people like to talk about. So it's definitely increased that, which is sort of a side effect most people don't think about. My family lives in West Michigan near a Marne. Is that where your sign in the guest room is from? Yes, Marne, Michigan is where I grew up and went to school. Would you ever get another cat? Mentioned that before. Oh yeah, I'm not against that. If the time's right, if the feeling's right. Would you ever consider putting a special camera out in the forest to capture Cinnabon during the day and night? Oh, of course, I've definitely thought about that. I probably will do that within the next year or so. As far as putting a camera on his body, no way. I don't want him to get hurt or be annoyed by that, get it snagged on. I mean, it would be super cool to see what he does with the GoPro, but I don't think I'll be doing that for security reasons or safety reasons. Here's a gaming question for a change. What was your favorite COD? COD stands for Call of Duty. My favorite Call of Duty is Modern Warfare. Unfortunately, I don't have my Modern Warfare pajamas. I have my Green Day pajamas, but Modern Warfare is my favorite. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I used to play that. It was part of a gaming clan, a professional clan, actually. That was fun. I can go into more of that later. How many pets aside from Cinnabon have you had in your life? When I was born, or shortly after I was born, maybe, yeah, it was before, I think. We had a German Shepherd, family dog, Sadie. She was nice. And then after her, we had Buddy, a male German Shepherd, and then Cassie, a female German Shepherd. They were all nice, big dogs, nice family dogs. And of course, like occasional fish, hamsters. We had a couple of hamsters, and a turtle named Squirtle, and another one named Scout. But they were tiny in comparison. No, never a cat though. Not in my family. Just extended family had cats, and grandparents. What do you love about Cinnabon? Does he have any quirky things that he does that you think are cute? And as for you, Lex, what makes you happy in life? Well, all very nice questions. Oh yeah, Cinnabon, my favorite quirk is when you've seen in videos where he will pick up a toy and drop it down the stairs and attack it. I think that's hilarious. Also, I like how he rubs his face on everything. Like even walking outside, he'll rub his face onto a stick. I just think that's adorable. And what makes me happy in life? Oh, I also like how he opens cupboards. That's kind of cool. He doesn't do it all the time, but that was one of the first things he did in front of me. I'm like, how do you know how to do that? It's amazing. That tells me he had a home before. What makes me happy in life? I like to spend time with friends, even at work. Like when I go on a lunch break, I like to go with other people just to kind of get a nice escape from the office. And after work, we do happy hour, hanging out with friends on the weekends, family, things like that. I really enjoy. Some of the more material things I enjoy are just collecting, obviously, firearms and parts, things that are exotic or rare. I don't like just right off the shelf stuff. I like things that there are very few of, or it takes a lot of effort to obtain. I like to network with people. I have a good friend of mine overseas in Ireland who we talk a lot, send each other cool packages and that kind of thing. So I like interaction with people. And something between an introvert and extrovert. I do both, really. It just depends on, I guess, what I want to do a particular day. So that makes me happy. Do you plan to microchip Cinnabon when you take him to the vet? No, probably not. Do you plan to collar him? Maybe. No, I don't think so. As I mentioned before, I don't want him getting snaked. I know they make breakaway collars. I may consider that, but as of now, no. What breed is Cinnabon? I did a video on that. I think he's I don't know for sure. He looks like a Norwegian forest cat or a Maine Coon. He's probably a mix of either or both of those, but he's definitely a domestic, orange tabby, long hair. Maybe has a pinch of those because he does have a few Maine Coon traits. I think this is the longest video. It's going to be the longest one. Are you thinking about putting in a cat flap, like a kitty door? No, my house isn't set up good for that. I'd have to cut a hole, and he doesn't really come through the front door. He doesn't hang out the front lawn very much. It's usually the back. So I don't think I will. I'd have to cut a hole through the wall, and I don't want to do that. So he's fine. Just I'll let him in when he wants in. Plus, I don't want other animals getting in. How old are you? I am 28 years old. Have you ever thought about teaching Cinnabon tricks? Not really, but I will watch some YouTube videos to see if I can teach him any. That'd be kind of fun. Now that you can't also be a dog person, but would you say you're a cat person? Convert? I used to think cats were dumb, but I've turned completely around on that opinion. Well, I'm definitely still a dog person. I would say yes, I am a cat person convert because I wasn't really a cat person before. I always liked them and would pet them, but I just thought they were kind of standoffish, and they kind of are in some ways. But this one's different than most any other cat I've ever met. He's like a lot like a dog, so if anything, it's a good sort of a perfect cat for me, really, because I like dogs. But I am becoming a cat person because relative to dogs, they're very low maintenance, and they, like right now, look, he does nothing. He's totally chill. He's not making a mess. You know, he's clean in many ways. This was already answered. Would I be disappointed if Cinnabon's a female cat? Not at all. I think it'd be kind of cool because female cats of this color are rare, so that'd make them even more special, or her, right? Are you married or have a significant other? I am not married, and I'm currently dating on and off. Don't have anyone serious right now. Do you have any other name, or did you have any other name choices for Cinnabon? I thought about this question because I don't remember. I think I might have considered naming him Sonny or Tula after the Russian arsenal, or plant rather, but I can't remember any. Nothing really notable. Cinnabon just kind of stuck. After I learned about Morris the cat, I thought about renaming him Morris, but Cinnabon definitely stuck. And that's what it's going to be. Have I always been a cat person? Not really. I've always liked them. My grandpa always had cats. So, and my cousins. I always liked them. I wouldn't consider myself a cat person, but I liked them. Do I get annoyed by comments suggesting you keep Cinnabon inside your house, like make him a home buddy? I wouldn't say annoyed. There's a lot of those questions. It's maybe slightly obnoxious, but not bad. It's a good question. A lot of people would ask that. Doesn't really bother me. Will you neuter Cinnabon? He's already been neutered, I believe, based on his ear. Trap, neuter, release. That's been addressed before in comments by a lot of viewers who have recognized that too, or have seen it. What is your zodiac sign? I had to look this up. It's a Capricorn, I think. I don't really know exactly about that, but Capricorn is what I am, I believe, according to the website I put my stuff in. What is the story behind the green dinosaur, if any? Well, let's go ahead and look at the green dinosaur. Green dinosaur was an impulse purchase at Hobby Lobby. It was in the checkout area. I saw it and I had to have it. Then it works out quite well. Goes with that home decor item right there, I guess, even though I had that after. Little green dinosaur friend, huh? Little conventional motor oil source. Yeah. Do you buy your own PJ pants? I thought about this because actually all three of the ones I have, my Green Day, Call of Duty, and Turtle pants, all of which I think you've seen, were gifts from my mom for Christmas and birthdays over the years. They're probably all at least 10 years old at this point. Did you ever have an injury to your knee? I often hear it making a snap, crackle, and pop noise when you bend down to attend to Cinnabon. I noticed that too. I don't remember ever having a knee injury, and I never really got too much into sports. I think it's just, I'm 28 years old. I'm turning into an old man, so that's just part of getting old, I guess. When I do push-ups, there's cracks too, and that's always been happening. I know it's pretty costly, but are you going to consider taking Cinnabon to the vet for a checkup? Yes, I am considering it. I do have a vet that I talk to, and she gives me. I go to the vet without him and pick up meds. Like he had worms once, so I got him some dewormer, and that has worked out. If he would ever seem sick, I would take him in, or injured, I would definitely take him in. I think I'll do that. I'll take him in probably. I guess whenever he shows any issues, but I think he's pretty healthy. I know people that have had cats for 2 decades, never gone to the vet, and are totally fine. And he seems, if he survived this long on his own, he should be fine. This might be a touchy subject, and I can appreciate it if you don't want to answer, but you mentioned your grandparents quite a bit. Are they still alive? As well as your parents? Grandparents that I mentioned them a few times. The ones that this table came from and had cats are no longer with us. Grandfather, my father's side, passed away 2010. My grandmother on that side passed away in 2000. I was in 4th grade. So they definitely would have loved to spend time with Cinnabon. Grandparents on my mother's side, my grandma's still around. And my grandfather passed away also in 2010 on that side. Nice grandparents. I have their picture on my fridge, but I won't show it out of privacy concern. Are you a Christian? Yes, I am. Oh, and yeah, but both my parents are alive. That was also the question on it. they're getting not quite retirement age, but I think it's coming soon. Just more about you, your past, your future plans, etc. How Cinnabon has changed your life, what he's taught you. There's a lot of questions in there. More about me. Nothing really was specific was asked, but I guess I kind of touched on it before. I've always liked when I was a kid tinkering with electronics. That got me into IT, and as my IT career has progressed, my interest in interacting with people has increased. I used to be more just a nerd liking technology, and I'm less of that now. It doesn't excite me like it used to, but interacting with people is more sort of, I shouldn't say project management, but just dealing with things, events at work, handling things like that, being the point person for items that happen. I like that more. I like interacting with people. Of the team I work with, they typically have me do onboarding because I'm a pretty good communicator with everyone, which I like. I like that because I get to talk with everyone, find out what the company does. My past, had a pretty nice childhood. I always liked to run around with cap guns and stuff like that, playing. My interest in firearms, I don't know how it came around. I've never really had them growing up, except BB guns and stuff. I think it was movies, video games probably, except just something I've always liked. Video games I was really into when I was younger, not anymore, except for the classic ones. Simply just don't have time for that. Future plans, I really like this house. I consider it a forever home. Just a nice, relaxing place for friends, family hanging out, little bear pictures and what have you. But I'd like this to be my forever home, and hopefully, get married, have kids. This would be a nice place to raise children. I'm not totally settled on staying here, but I would like to. But it all depends, when you get married, or have a serious relationship with somebody, that can change too. The only thing I don't like about my property is there's no creek or river or large body of water. I would like to have that, but it's pretty much perfect aside from that. So something maybe a little bigger would be cool. This house is large enough to have 3 bedrooms, so it's large enough to have a decent sized family. But if we were to have a big family, we'd probably have to upsize or do an add-on or something. There's enough property for an add-on for sure, and a pole barn too. If I would like to do a pole barn on this property as I get more vehicles and stuff. How Cinnabon changed my life? I've mentioned this before. He has taught me to probably be a little more caring, I guess. I don't know. He's taught me to value animals a lot more, that's for sure. Possums used to bother me because they would steal his food. I almost killed one once. I don't know if I ever told the story. I trapped a possum and released him in a different city, and the possums secreted a smell in my Explorer. It was really nasty. And after that, I trapped another possum that was stealing Cinnabon's food. I brought him in the woods. I had a loaded weapon to his head, and then he stared at me, the possum, and I couldn't do it. So I released the possum, and I'm like, okay, I got smarter and didn't try not to leave food out at night. Possums are really beneficial for our environment. They're ugly and nasty for the most part, but they kill ticks, they eat them. They're like janitors in the forest. So I've learned to accept that. So I guess I've learned just to be nicer to things. And people, I suppose. How did you get into Soviet memorabilia and why? Because of firearms. I like a lot of Soviet firearms because they're high quality. I won't get into it too much, but capitalism, nothing against capitalism, but in capitalism you try to make something as cheaply as you can and sell it for the most money. That's just, I can't blame them. So sometimes you get lack of quality in a product, whereas a communist state, it's everything is state funded. So the weapons manufacturing plants have nearly an unlimited amount of money, and they can't go out of business because they're funded by the state. So as long as the state's there, they have all the money they want, and therefore they have basically mini cities making weapons. And the American economy can't keep up with that. Germany is probably an exception of a country that is not communist. I take actually half of Germany was from after World War II to 1991. But aside from that, they make excellent firearms. Americans, we have the AR-15 and stuff. But in my opinion, those are not as cool as like the German G36 or the Russian AK-100 series, which is more modern, or the AK-47, AKM, Type 123, all those. I won't get into weapons too much, but I like the different methods behind both. And in America today, you get a good blend between the two because a lot of the weapons are imported in parts and have to be finished on American parts. And the Americans have finally figured out how to make stuff. in that thought, I suppose, in that design. It's different than what we do. Do you have any Marx memorabilia? No, I do not. I'm assuming you refer to Karl Marx. I don't have anything from Karl Marx. I guess I wouldn't be against it because he was a pretty big figure in that country. I do have a Stalin statue and a few Lenin things, but no Marx stuff yet. I have seen some interesting Marx items, but I don't really have a spot for it now, but I'm sure I could find one. So maybe in the future. Have you looked into the Cold War influence in African countries? Not really, aside from observations that some of their weapons are similar. I'm assuming a lot of the African countries I know they acquired a lot of their weapons that kind of spilled down. That would be something that would be interesting to look into. Specifically, Ethiopia was mentioned in something, in quotes, Red Terror. Have you visited Russia, East Germany? I have not, but I would like to someday. I've never left the U.S. except for Canadian water, which is nothing. I will probably go to Ireland next year to meet my buddy and his nice family. But aside from that, I haven't really been anywhere. I would like to go to, this sounds crazy, and it probably will never happen, but like North Korea, if it's ever safe, or Cuba, someplace like that where most people can't go. I'm sure it's a really terrible decision. Obviously, potentially life-changing, but I think it'd be really cool because it looks like a cool country. No one goes there. There's so much, obviously, negative stigma surrounding that country. It'd be interesting. And I think that might wrap up all the questions. Yes, it does. So I apologize if I missed your question, but if I did, please post it in the comments and I'll answer them there, or I'll try to. This is almost a half-hour video. Isn't that right? Put you to sleep. Yeah? Oh, I'm sorry. I probably woke you up right there. Well, thank you all for asking these questions, and I also appreciate you leaving a lot of nice comments. It is cool to read because it's overwhelmingly positive. I mean, really, almost all of it is. I don't know if that's just how it is or if YouTube has a filter, but that's just really nice to read. I enjoy reading through them, and I try to respond to all of them. Another question I just remember that I don't remember seeing in the list I took was, is it difficult to keep up with this, like posting videos of Cinnabon? Do I have to change lifestyle? No, not at all. It's really not difficult. I mean, I don't edit my videos, as I'm sure you've noticed, which drives people nuts, I'm sure, but I don't really need to. I'm like, oh, look at that. I don't really think I need to edit them. They're just, I don't know. They're simple. I used to be into video editing, but I don't know. I spend a lot of time doing it. I just think it's unnecessary for this type of content. I'm sure a montage would be sweet, but yeah, I'm just not going to do that. Well, this is almost half an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and shut her down. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Say bye, sweetie. I think he's too tired. That's okay. We'll give him a pass today. Yeah? There we go.